So I spent yesterday evening looking at the history of the world on Wikipedia, the different events in the United States and all that. And so you had the 1918 virus, you had the war, World War, you had Hitler, you had Japan, you had all this stuff. You had the stock market crash, you had a bunch of stuff. You had the UFO scare on the radio that I think it was like 14 years before they said there was a landing, a Roswell landing or something like that. But anyway, a lot of people killed themselves because of listening to the radio, thinking that we were invaded. And then there was 14 years later a so-called invasion, or a craft that was found, but they said it was a weather balloon. Anyway, so Hitler so we saw in 2021, 2020, the virus repeat. We saw the economic collapse. We saw the prosperity because you had the roaring 20s. You had after the stock market crashed, or right before, I can't remember if it's before or after, but the prosperity was going on. And so what is happening here? There always has to be a repeat. The Bible says there's nothing new under the sun. So just like there was a Hitler back in 1940 something, 45 or something, there's a Hitler now. Putin has become the new Hitler. We thought it was China. We thought it was the leader of China, but when China told Putin to negotiate with them, that tells you that the Chinese negotiate. Anyway, long story short, history repeats itself. There's a new Hitler on the scene, and Russians attacking Russians, the Russian speakers attacking Russian speakers, and then you see the Russian soldier said, "I don't know who's the enemy." That's the most profound thing ever said right there. So that proves that Putin is the new Hitler in my mind. So when Hitler was trying to invade and create this world that he wanted, the world has changed, and Putin is trying to create a world that he wants or he believes in, and the rest of the world is saying no. All the nations are saying no. And so instead of him backing up, he's sending more troops. Instead of him admitting a mistake, he's caught between a rock. He has to follow through. I don't know who will take him out. I don't know if it'll be in his own cabinet, his own party, his own people, or somebody will send a spy in there and take him out. But he's not going to be around much longer. This is my prediction. He won't be around much longer. God might take him out. You just can't. You just can't be that. You just can't be that blind. You know. He says, "Well, you're putting rockets on my front porch." Okay, so yeah, so. But if you were not isolated and you weren't thinking that way, you wouldn't even believe that. If you were in with the crowd, in with the freedom movement, but you can actually see that he's not for freedom. He's not for freedom. When he took over as a lifetime leader, see, Trump came on the scene, and Trump was starting to get a little bit delusional. I always vote Republican, but you notice Trump started to get a little bit delusional. He was taken away. the Chinese leader was starting to get a little delusion, but it wasn't him. It's Putin. History repeats itself. There's nothing new under the sun. You had Mao, you had I forget all the names, but you had all these guys. You had Nebuchadnezzar. You had all these people who wanted to take over the world, who wanted to encroach on other nations, encroach on other people. And God doesn't allow that. The universe kicks back. And that's why that soldier was so confused. I don't know who the enemy is. I don't know who's who. They look like me. I don't know who to shoot. He was having a profound he was having such a profound insight, and he said they lied to us. We were just here to do training, because he knew they wouldn't have went to war. They wouldn't have went over there if they thought they were going to shoot somebody who spoke their own language that was probably related to them. Long story short, Putin has lost his mind. He's the next Hitler, and you see what happened to Hitler. You already know what's going to happen before it happens, because history repeats itself. It's a fractal. It's a reproduction. It's a play. It's a scene. It's a world stage, and he's a bad actor. And anytime you get bad actors, what happens? They get taken out. But they go delusional. They go insane before they get taken out. And if he wanted to be supreme authority, he has no accountability. Every human needs accountability, and he's getting a kickback, and he don't know what to do. So what did Hitler do? He just went on. He was getting hit back, but he kept on going. I'm telling you, this is a profound fractal holographic story repeat. The hologram is repeating itself, and Putin will be taken out. That's just the way it is. I mean, he might do a lot of damage, but I don't think it's going to be. I think somebody's going to take him out pretty quick. I don't like to predict the future, but I can look at the fractal, and I read the history, the big things that happened. The flu repeated itself. They tried to do the race wars again in the USA. You look at it all, and there's no race war in the USA. The media tried to promote it because the devil has no new game. And so Putin is no new game. He's just another Hitler. I'm not saying there's reincarnation, but there's the same playbook that repeats over and over with different people. It might be the same spirit as Hitler, but it's not a reincarnation. It's a playbook that the devil uses, just like in your life. When you were a child, things that bothered you as a child, the devil will send in people in your world that do the same thing that they did when you were a child, if it bothers you. The devil is always trying to harass and repeat the things that cause stress and turmoil. Putin has gone insane. He really has.